What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and I want to have some fun in this video. So if you're closed-minded and you don't like pondering on the mysteries of this universe, then this video may not be for you. However, if you're someone that always keeps an open mind, and you like discussing the what-ifs and what could be's, and you understand that the possibilities of this universe are limitless, then this might be the video for you. Now, I'm not saying that this is how I feel about life or any of this is necessarily true. I'm just talking about the possibilities here. And some people believe that, nothing happens by chance. That our life is almost like a TV show. Like the outside world and all of these events that are happening are basically scripted. Now, don't get me wrong. Not necessarily the things that are happening at home in your personal life, but the bigger overarching picture. Like these things that are happening in Hollywood, these various big news stories, that all of it is just orchestrated and it's all scripted for various reasons, various motives. For one, keep your mind off of obtaining the true knowledge of why we're even here. To distract you from other bigger news stories, other realer news stories. There's various different agendas and motives that you could place behind why this could be happening. But there's a lot of people that believe that. There's a lot of people that believe this Will Smith, Chris Rock slap was just another one of those scripts. That it's all just part of a bigger picture, and that everything that goes on is just orchestrated by someone behind the scenes, almost like a puppet master. And all of these things that you see happening throughout the world, there's someone pulling the strings. And the only ones who are in on it are all of us. The general public, the peasants, the lower class, the middle class, those of us who aren't rich enough to be in on it. Now, I'm not saying that is something that I necessarily think is true, but it is something that I ponder over all the time. It's a possibility that I think about pretty often. And probably the biggest evidence that this could possibly be true, that this theory, that all of these things, they're all orchestrated by someone, and it's all just a big show, if you will. The biggest evidence that could point towards that possibly being true is something called predictive programming. Have you ever heard of predictive programming? Chances are you've heard of how The Simpsons, for example, sometimes predicts things that happen in the future. And if you know about The Simpsons and how they predict things that happen in the future, you probably know that they do it pretty often. In fact, at this rate, they've done it so much that it's become kind of scary. Well, you see, The Simpsons aren't the only ones that seem to be predicting the future. There's tons of content, movies, books, TV shows, you name it, that have basically set out everything that's already, set out everything that's going to happen before it happened. And this Chris Rock Will Smith slap, is another example of that. Because in 1999, the Wayans brothers, I believe was it Shawn Wayne? He was hosting the MTV Movie Awards, or the MTV Music Awards, 1999. And he did a bit, and he was pretending to be Chris Rock. And in that bit, someone in the crowd, or various people in the crowd, got mad and then came on stage and assaulted Chris Rock for the jokes that he was telling at the award show. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip, and then I'll be back to talk about it a little bit more.
Boy, I look like white team 99 up in this bitch. Britney Spears got her new album out, her new song. Oops, I did it again. Oops, she did it again. She did it again, y'all. What the did you do the first time? We got Eve here. Oh, my bad. That's Cisco. We got a little bit of Destiny's Child here tonight. That's right. Got the new hit song. Say my name, say my name. What name? Every time I learn the name, you kick the out the group. I say your name. How about temporary? We got a lot of rappers here. That's right. Jay-Z, Jigga, the Jigga Man. Jigga what? Jigga who? Jigga in the club, that's who. And how could you mention rap without talking about my man P. Diddy? P. Diddy, Shawn John, Shawn Buffett Cone. Got in a little bit of trouble this year, huh, Pup? Got in some trouble. Went out and hired Johnny Cochran. Actually, you didn't hire Johnny Cochran, you just sampled OJ's defense team. That's right. Speaking of OJ, OJ is in the news again, trying to make a comeback, promote this new website. OJ with a website? What the is going on? And you know the address? www.//youain'tdeadyet.com. Thank you very much. Oh no, puppy, not. Oh no, goodness me. Kick me one more time. Oh, just what, not that big ass. Oh my God, I can't take all that. Nasty boy. It's about time you had another hit. Go to hell. Go to hell.
Now, that's obviously not exactly how the Oscars went. But I do find it interesting that we have this little piece of predictive programming. And if this was something that was contained and it was a one-off, I wouldn't bat an eye at it. Who cares? You know, coincidences happen. But there's just so many coincidences like this in our life, in our world, in our reality. And at some point, people start asking the question, why? Why are there all these coincidences? What's up with this predictive programming? And when you see things like this, and then you hear these conspiracy theories that all of this stuff is staged and is fake, you really have to start asking questions like, you know, why does it seem like a lot of the things that happen in our reality, it seems like art imitates it before it happens? You know, they say that art imitates life, but in ways, it seems like the art is coming out first, and then life is imitating the art. Do you get what I'm saying here? The saying goes that art imitates life, but it looks like to me, at least in this day and age, that life is imitating art. Now, could this be a possibility? Who knows? I think it's something that is very entertaining to look into. I think it's something that's extremely interesting, especially when you see the sheer volume of how many times things like this happen. Like I said, if this was just a one-off, okay. If there was just one episode of The Simpsons where they predicted something that happened in the future, okay. But then when you boil it down and there's literally 500 episodes of The Simpsons that basically predict every single thing that's happened in our country and in our world over the past couple of decades, it starts getting kind of creepy. And then when you see this, and then you see other situations, and this isn't just, like I said, The Simpsons and these aren't the only examples. There's plenty of movies out there, television, you name it, songs, any form of art that you can think of, any form of media that you digest. There's been predictive programming, if you believe this theory is true, placed into these things. Why do they do that? Some believe it's to desensitize you for when it really happens. Like, for instance, Hollywood for a while was hyper-focused on making these movies about UFOs, correct? And it seems like every other movie you watch is about aliens and UFOs and Men in Black and cowboys versus aliens. And You name it, they found an alien that they could put in any movie you could possibly think of. And all of these movies have these big UFO, alien fighter ships, and all of that stuff, right? Well, some people believe that the reason they've been putting that in all of these Hollywood movies, all of these comic books over the past couple of decades is because they're trying to desensitize us for when, basically, for the day when we see this stuff in real life, for when they disclose that this stuff is real. Or some people believe that will be a false flag and it'll be Project Bluebeam. We can get into that in the future. But some people believe like all of these type of movies about aliens and UFOs have been here for years to desensitize us for when they basically come out and tell us, oh, these things are real. And actually, I believe it was sometime last year, they came out, the Pentagon, for those of you non-believers who think that we're the only beings in the universe, the Pentagon literally came out, was like, oh yeah, all those UFOs that y'all have been seeing, you know, all those videos that were leaked, they're all real. We don't know where these came from. Now, they dropped that news during the biggest health crisis that we've gone through in our lifetime, so no one seemed to care that the Pentagon literally confirmed that UFOs are real. But all of these years of these alien movies, I felt led up to that moment to desensitize us to where people don't even care anymore. And do you really see as much alien content anymore now that they release that information? No. But that is somewhat another example of kind of how they do. Like they put these things in the movies and in television in order to soften you up for when this actually happens. Also, people believe it's a way that they mock us. Like, the people who believe that there is a puppet master pulling all these strings, they think another reason that they put this predictive programming in these televisions and I guess award shows at this point is basically to mock us, to dangle this stuff in front of us, to kind of almost let us know that this is happening without directly letting us know it's happening, and also to mock the people who are intelligent enough to peep it out and to spot that this is happening. Because the masses are going to go about their day as if this isn't weird and they're not going to care about anything at all. They're only worried about their next iPhone update. They don't give a damn about any of this stuff. But there are individuals who pick up on it, who see things for what they really are. And there's nothing you can do about it at that point. Just like me making this video right now. Some of you are on board with what I'm saying and some of you aren't. I'm not necessarily saying that this is something that I firmly believe, but I'm saying this is a possibility that I have explored. And I think it's a possibility worth exploring because it's very interesting going down this rabbit hole. But it's almost a way to dangle things in front of our faces. Those of us who think a little bit deeper about situations, who look into situations a little bit deeper. And there's nothing we could really do about it, but hey, like, oh, well, we knew that was going to happen. You know, just like this video resurfaced because someone was like, oh yeah, I saw this coming. I remember this from 1999. I didn't remember this happened in 1999. But luckily, due to the internet and someone being like, yep, I could have told y'all, you know, there's always that person in like the movies who's trying to warn everyone that something's coming or something like that. And they're always deemed the crazy guy in town when in reality, they were the only ones who really knew what the hell was going on in the first place. So sometimes when you think something's crazy, it's just because you can't understand it. When in reality, it's real. You know, people aren't really accepting of new information. People aren't accepting of information that conflicts their worldview. So often people are dismissed when they even talk about theories like this. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you think this is weird that Chris Rock Oscar slap was somewhat predicted? Have you ever heard of any of these theories? Do you know about predictive programming? If you do, drop some more examples of it down in the comments below so people watching this video can go and see other examples of how this has happened in the past. But also, I just want to know your thoughts about all of this, period, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. And as always, find some time out of your day to go watch a movie.